Wheels of Time, a retrospective on automotive innovation, is a series highlighting the significant developments in both the automotive industry and motorsports, showcasing the rapid advancements in technology, the establishment of notable and iconic brands, and the constant changes in competitive racing as a popular sport. Each lap that the Wheels of Time completes represents another transformative period that laid the groundwork for future innovations in both vehicle manufacturing and racing.
And up next, the top 50 most significant developments in the automotive industry and motorsports for the year 1972. BMW launched the 5 Series, a key model in the executive sedan segment, marking the beginning of one of BMW's most enduring model lines. Over at Volkswagen, they introduced the Passat, a mid-size family sedan that became one of the brand's most important and longest-running models. 1972 also saw the end of production for the Volkswagen Beetle in Germany. Production of the original Beetle was phased out, though it continued to be produced in other countries like Mexico, marking a pivotal moment in the car's legacy. In 1972, Chrysler partnered with Mitsubishi Motors, leading to the introduction of the Japanese-designed vehicles in the U.S. market, such as the Dodge Colt, and springboarding what was known as DSM, Diamond Star Motors. 1972 was also the safety scandal that surrounded the Ford Pinto, and public controversy over the Pinto's gas tank safety issues emerged, spawning lawsuits and concerns over auto safety standards. In turn, Mazda released the RX-3, powered by a rotary engine, furthering the brand's commitment to the Wankel engine and lightweight sports cars. Honda introduced a new K-car called the Life, designed for the Japanese market, emphasizing practicality and fuel efficiency. Meanwhile, Renault launched the R5, also known as the Renault 5, and would be later sold in the United States as Le Car, which became a popular subcompact hatchback in Europe, known for its versatility and innovative design. U.S. emissions regulations continued to tighten in 1972 because of the Clean Air Act of 1970, which led to stricter emission standards, forcing automakers to implement new technologies to reduce pollution. GM introduced the Cadillac Seville concept and began development on the Cadillac Seville, which would become its first compact luxury model, reflecting shifting market preferences for smaller, fuel-efficient vehicles. And at the same time, Japanese car imports were on the rise. The popularity of Japanese cars in the US continued to grow in 1972, with Toyota, Nissan under the name Datsun at the time, and Honda leading the charge in producing affordable and reliable vehicles. 1972 saw the launch of the Fiat 132, a replacement for the 125, aiming to compete in the large sedan market in Europe. The Chevrolet G Series, or the Chevy L van, was launched, which would become a staple for utility, conversion vans, and ambulances in the US starting in 1972. Fuel efficiency became a major focus. Rising fuel costs and concerns over the environment led manufacturers to begin prioritizing fuel-efficient vehicles with smaller engines and lighter designs. GM abandoned their Wankel rotary engine development program, deciding to stop its plans, citing concerns over fuel efficiency and emissions compliance. At the same time, Volvo was developing an ozone-cleaning catalytic converter. They began focusing on this technology, hoping to reduce vehicle emissions and contributing to the cleaner environment. Audi introduced their Model 80, known as the Fox in the United States. It was a compact executive car that would become a precursor to the Audi A4. Mercedes-Benz continued development of the W116 series, which would become the official S-Class and set new benchmarks for luxury and safety. Toyota introduced their iconic Celica liftback, a sportier version of the Celica that drew comparisons to the Ford Mustang and added to the growing popularity of Japanese sports cars. Ford, on the other hand, introduced the Granada, a mid-size executive car that became a popular model in the European market. GM introduced the Turbo Hydromatic 400 automatic transmission, which became known for its durability and widespread use in a variety of applications, to include motorsports. Citroën brought the SM to the United States with its advanced engineering and Maserati engine, making this Citroën's attempt to break into the luxury GT segment in the United States. Subaru introduced the Leon four-wheel drive station wagon, one of the first all-wheel drive passenger cars, setting the stage for Subaru's future success in this segment. The Nissan, known at that time as Datsun 240Z, continues to gain popularity and remained a popular sports car in the United States due to its combination of performance, reliability, and affordability. And in 1972, Chrysler introduced the Challenger Rally, a performance version of its pony car amidst the declining popularity of muscle cars due to rising fuel costs. Meanwhile, over in the world of Formula One, Emerson Fittipaldi wins the Formula One championship in 1972 at the age of 25, becoming the youngest ever Formula One champion driving for Lotus. BMW entered Formula 2 with a factory team establishing its motorsports prowess in single-seater racing. Austrian Niki Lauda made his Formula One debut, a key moment in the career of one of motorsports' future legends. Swedish driver Joe Bonnier died in a crash during the 24 Hours of Le Mans, underscoring the dangers of endurance racing in the 1970s. Meanwhile, Mark Donohue won the Indianapolis 500, driving for Roger Penske's team, solidifying Penske Racing's growing dominance in motorsports. The turbocharged Porsche 91710 proved to be dominant in the Can-Am series, highlighting Porsche's innovative approach to race car design. Meanwhile, Ferrari was struggling at Formula One and faced a challenging season with no race wins, leading to internal changes within the team. Bobby Allison had a standout season in NASCAR in 1972, securing multiple victories and cementing his place as one of motorsports' top drivers. The International Motorsports Association, better known as IMSA, held its first GT championship in 1972, establishing a premier sports car racing series in North America. In 1972, BMW founded BMW Motorsport, later to be known as the M Cars, which would become synonymous with high-performance vehicles and motorsport success. In 1972, the Grand National Series was officially renamed the Winston Cup Series after securing sponsorship from R.J. Reynolds, ushering in a new era of NASCAR history. Dutch driver Gijs van Lennep, along with Helmut Marko, won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in a Porsche 917, continuing Porsche's dominance at the event. New Zealand driver Denny Hume secured victory at the South African Grand Prix, one of the key races of the 1972 Formula One season. The Constructors' Championship in Formula One went to Lotus in 1972, further solidifying its position as one of the top race teams in F1. The famous Targa Florio endurance race continued to challenge drivers with its narrow mountainous roads, with Alfa Romeo taking the win in 1972. Belgian driver Jackie Ickx won his home Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps, one of the most prestigious events in the F1 calendar. Ronnie Peterson saw his first Formula One victory in 1972. The Swedish driver secured his first ever Formula One win at the Italian Grand Prix, driving for March Engineering. Swiss driver Joe Siffert won the British Grand Prix at Brands Hatch, driving for BRM, making this one of the highlights of his career. And in 1972, McLaren continued to see rise in Formula One and had a strong showing, with the team's efforts laying the groundwork for future dominance in the sport. Meanwhile, the SCCA Trans Am Series continued to be a battleground for American muscle cars, with Ford, Chevrolet, and AMC fighting for supremacy. Though not held until later, the idea of the Paris-Dakar Rally was conceived in 1972, leading to the future creation of one of the world's most famous off-road races. The safety car was also introduced in Formula One for the first time in 1972 at the Canadian Grand Prix, although it was not yet a regular feature in this discipline of motorsport. Australian racing legend Peter Brock won the Bathurst 500, driving a Holden Torana, which would later become a symbol of his success. Motorcycle Grand Prix racing continued to grow in popularity worldwide, with Giacomo Agostini dominating the 500cc class on an MB Agusta. And finally, in 1972, Monza hosts the Italian Grand Prix and remained one of the highlights of the Formula One season, known for its high-speed thrills and passionate fan base.
The events captured here, though not all-encompassing of this particular year, reflect the dynamic nature of the automotive industry and motorsports as a whole, and how seemingly unrelated events in history are simultaneously connected like links in a chain. It's truly remarkable to think about what we've been able to accomplish with the combined efforts of artists, scientists, chemists, aerodynamicists, machinists, engineers, and the countless numbers of other people that have contributed to the continued turning of the autosphere. Be sure to stay tuned to Break Fix Podcast for episodes where we chat with those very people from the diverse parts of the autosphere, discussing cool careers, captivating personal journeys, and the unique living histories of individuals from all over the industry. Just remember, the wheels of time keep on turning. We don't know where we'll be tomorrow, but those wheels just keep on turning.
This episode is brought to you in part by the Society of Automotive Historians. They encourage research into any aspect of automotive history. The SAH actively supports the compilation and preservation of papers, organizational records, print ephemera and images to safeguard, as well as to broaden and deepen the understanding of motorized wheeled land transportation through the modern age and into the future. For more information about the SAH, visit www.autohistory.org.
We hope you enjoyed another awesome episode of Break Fix Podcast, brought to you by Grand Touring Motorsports. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or get involved, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Grand Touring Motorsports. And if you'd like to learn more about the content of this episode, be sure to check out the follow-on article at gtmotorsports.org. We remain a commercial-free and no annual fees organization through our sponsors, but also through the generous support of our fans, families, and friends through Patreon. For as little as $2.50 a month, you can get access to more behind-the-scenes action, additional pit stop minisodes, and other VIP goodies, as well as keeping our team of creators fed on their strict diet of Fig Newtons, gummy bears, and Monster. So consider signing up for Patreon today at www.patreon.com/GT Motorsports. And remember, without you, none of this would be possible.